random message on our Street Heathens page from our friend Chuck down in Bath, and all it says is, "Hey bud, I'm getting a hold of you and your buddy, and bring your money. You can get your race you wanted. The money is here." And I had a feeling I knew exactly which Monte Carlo he was talking about. One that's traveled all the way from Oklahoma City. And I was right.
Yep.
And that immediately changed our plans from rebuilding that engine to what are we gonna do to make this race, because we have days.
Mm-hmm.
And just randomly, right before we got that message, I got a new ignition box, and before this, I'm just running with basic stuff. It was a MSD red box. I mean, I had one option to pull timing out, and we were just playing with that all year. I finally get a 7 box, so at least I have more tuning capabilities now. We get that hooked up, we decide we're gonna leave the engine together. We go and make a couple hits with it. Well, it's running strong, but it's randomly losing power on the first hit, like just like you shut the key off, like all electric is gone. And then it'll come back on and finish the hit fine, run great the rest of the day. So we're
It's the weirdest thing.
what the
Bipolar, like
It's
you said.
never done this anyway.
So the next day we do it again. Very first pass, it's like you turn the key off or as soon as you leave the line. Turn it back, or it comes back on, finishes the pass, makes great hits the rest of the day. We go to take it out again. Now the misfire is back. It's popping and banging, won't go to high RPM. So we're completely convinced that we're gonna take the 434 out of the C10 and put it in here and just hope to God it can survive the amount of nitrous that I intend to shove down its throat. And, that was our plan. And just one final try, we took my motor out and made another hit with it. Full nitrous pass, it ran fast and it ran clean. So we decided to leave things alone, don't touch it until we race Dave.
Yep.
And that's what we did. And this is, well, we finally made a clean fast pass the day before. I think it's the day before we were due to race Dave. And we ended up with one extra day out of it because he was going to an NPK race in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And they rained out, they got pushed back an extra day, so my race with him got pushed back an extra day. And Dave was sending us messages. It was kind of complicated at first because we kept going through middlemen for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
so-and-so would say this and so-and-so would say this. We could never get a straight answer of how many cars are you bringing, where are we doing it, and when is this taking place. So finally we get around the middlemen and we pick a day. Dave asks us how many cars we're bringing. Dave's only stipulation for this deal was he wanted it to be small. It's just me and a couple of my friends racing him and a couple of his friends. And that's all we wanted it to be. We didn't want some giant production. And so I round up my core group, which is obviously TJ and David, and then our no prep crew, which is Scott and Morgan. And then I grabbed Joe Padalunas for a true street car. I've known him for years, and I met him racing him 120 miles an hour down through downtown Elmira. So I knew he was down. And we just rounded up just our core group, told him we had 6 cars, not everybody's expecting to race, and we have a spot, be here this day, this time. He said, cool. So, meanwhile, of course, you got the haters talking, oh, you don't know Dave, oh, Dave would never do anything on the actual street, he's not street, he's just in it for the TV show, he's never gonna show up to race you, blah, blah, blah. So, the day comes, TJ shoots Dave a text telling him, we're gonna be ready at this time, be here. He says, cool. So everybody starts rolling in, and I'm thinking last minute that we don't have a flagger who's not on one side or the other. I mean,
Right.
There's no neutral person at this thing to flag. It's gonna be either one of Dave's guys or one of mine. So I shoot Rob a last minute text like, dude, can you be in this town at this time? We need a flagger. He says he's on his way. So he rolls in to flag this whole deal. So all our guys get there and we're standing around BSing, and somebody points up the road and we look, and around the corner, here comes a truck and trailer, and here comes another truck and trailer. And here comes Dave down our little back road, and he's ready to do some real street shit. And we pull up, tell him where to park, and we have permission from the neighbors, and we have everything on our end set up. So we go down, start unloading cars. We BS for a minute, and from that point on, it's a race.
Yep.
We're competitors.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of those moments where you had to soak everything in. Like, is this really happening? And it was, for sure. It was definitely happening. But like he said, it was straight to business after that. We had to, get the cars and the trucks ready and make sure everybody knew their own role. And, it was real fun. It was real fun running him.
Absolutely. That's something you never forget, running somebody like that on the actual street with a legit street race. And he's as real as it gets. I mean,
Yeah,
We're here to
Yeah.
tell you the true street stuff is what we've been wanting to do since the beginning. That's always been the goal. And we do a lot of the no prep stuff and go to, the spots and stuff like that. But it's the street that gets us. And anybody that doubts that Dave's not exactly the same way, I mean, we're here to tell you he's exactly the same way. And it ended up being cooler than we expected it to be, and it was definitely a blast. Real fun time.
Dave's as cool as can be. He's completely laid back. He didn't show up and try to big dick anybody. He just wanted to hang out with good people and send some cars down the road, and that's exactly what we did. He didn't show up wanting a $5,000 race, and all he cared about was that my truck sat like his car. Full interior, an Oklahoma street car. I mean, I don't know if you'd consider a New York true street car, but it's close enough. It's a hell of a lot more of a street car than 90% of these guys around here trying to race him. And we just had a blast, and of course he brought a few of the Bath guys up with him. It was great to see all those guys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Lynn in I don't know how long.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were surprised that everybody else came up. It was good to see everybody.
Rolling in like a badass on his bike.
Yeah,
It was nice to see him.
Ride the bike.
Yeah, Lynn's probably the one it's been the longest since we've actually seen. I've seen the other guys, Jake and Josh, and obviously Larry and Chuck. But Lynn, it was really nice to see him too.
Definitely. But we each made 2 test passes. I didn't even make a full 2 test passes. I made 1 full test pass and then basically a 60-foot pole, and we got down to business. And pulling up to the line, I don't care if I'm racing my best friend or Daddy Dave. When I pull up to the line, whether it's nothing on the line or $1,000, I'm nervous. That's just how I am. That's what gets my juices flowing, is as I'm pulling up to the line. And the last thing I can think about is who's in the other lane against me. Even with as quick as you are when you pull to the line, one thing you do as a drag racer is always have your routine down. Do the exact same routine every single time you pull to the line, and only focus on that finish line and keep doing what you need to do to get your car down and make a clean pass. And that's what I did. I'm relying 100% on David to put me where I need to be, as I'm checking all my gauges, running the tune up through my head, making sure everything's right there, the nitrous is armed, both kits are active, everything's purged, I'm ready to rock and roll. And Dave pulls me up to the line, locks me in, and I'm lined up against Daddy Dave from Street Outlaws. And there's just no other feeling like that.
Did it feel kind of like Samson having Rob do everything?
Well, that's one of the main reasons I wanted Rob there. He's a good flagger, I know how he flags, and I have complete trust in him doing a good job. And pulling up to the line, looking up and seeing Rob standing in between our two cars, it's a familiarity to it. So I know what Rob's gonna do from that point on, so I can kind of lock myself into my little zone and get ready. And
Nothing Rob does is abnormal. He explained to Dave exactly how the flagging was going to go, so everything was good. It's just we had seen that before, so the familiarity that he's talking about is comforting, to say the least.
yeah. And once I go on the trans brake, all the nerves go away, everything's dead calm. Rob steps back, bangs the light, I let go of that button, and I can't believe it, I'm a car length out on Dave, right from the start. I run out first gear, grab second gear, I'm still ahead of him. I grab the second kit for everything I'm worth, and I'm just thinking, go you dirty bitch, go. And I see that glimmer, or that glimpse of white out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, no, come on, go. And I'm looking for more throttle pedal. I'm trying to shove that thing through the floor. It's like, come on, just a few more feet. And my nitrous car just didn't have enough for that supercharged LS. And you can't mile an hour against a car like that. There was nothing I could do. I was giving it everything I had. And he comes around me at like the last couple of inches. And
he left us all at the line with our jaws dropped. Like we thought you had it. Like it was way closer than we expected it to be. You know, because you're lining up against the guy, like the one that you just want to have fun and everything, but you don't have any high expectations. But man, that was real close. That was.
Even crossing the finish line, it was so close where I was pretty sure he came around me in the last couple of feet, but there's still that little bit of doubt, like, did I actually just fucking beat Daddy Dave? And we actually had to go back to the tapes to review it, because nobody on the finish line knew. Half of them thought I won it, half of them thought Dave won it. And I can't believe just how close that race was. It came down to maybe 6 inches. It was literally the cone of his bumper.
No, it was that much basically. It was a really cool race just watching that.
You don't know how bad I wanted to have one of them big dildo looking things hanging out in front of my truck.
Yeah, we all went back to the trailer, and we had to wait for the camera guy to come back down with the footage, because we don't have walkies and stuff like that at a track. But he ran down and he showed us, and sure enough, he got him just by mere inches. It was way closer than we thought it was going to be. But
yeah, that was such a good time. And after that, it was just a group of friends hanging out, sending some cars. I mean, Dave screwed around with the Nova a little bit,
Oh yeah.
trying to get the nitrous tune lined out in that, and by then it was getting fairly close to dark, and we had to we had to call it quits before the neighbors got too upset with us. So we got all the cars off the road just in time and regrouped, just sat around bullshitting about what happened that day and what we planned on doing in the near future. We go back up, we ended up going over to David's house and hung out in his shop for a while. And Dave asked us basically how big of races we normally put on, and in that spot, I think the biggest we've ever had was 20 True Street cars. We had a 12-car shootout. Like, we've never done anything too big in that spot. We'll send a few small tire cars here and there. Rob offered up Samson to use anytime we wanted to do a little shootout like that, or anytime Dave wanted to do it. And it's the perfect spot. I mean, it's wide open. The surface of it's no different than 90% of the roads you find around here.
Yeah.
And Dave kicked around the idea. He asked if we thought we could put on a 16-car shootout with cars that sat like him. Full interior. And mind you, his car still has air conditioning. Like, it's True Street
too.
And we said we can absolutely grab 16 cars and throw together a little shootout. I mean, it was a last minute deal, but Rob ordered up some food to feed everybody. I rounded up all my friends, Rob rounded up a few, and we planned to head to Samson in a few days and have a little cookout and send some cars.
Right.
Well, it was a surprise to all the other racers.
Yeah.
Everybody, this whole thing started at my race, obviously. And it's a spur of the moment thing. Obviously, he's a celebrity, so you got to keep things hush hush. So it was top secret ordeal. All Rob was telling people was it was important that they be at Samson on a certain day at this time.
Don't
And
tell him.
he couldn't tell anybody why, and they couldn't invite anybody. And in the days leading up to the shootout, of course, I have to go over everything with the S10 because I used a little more nitrous than I should have on that one. And I, needless to say, gave it everything I dared to give it. And everything looked all right for the most part. The only thing that concerned me was I melted a couple spark plugs. First time I've ever done that, so of course I had to get the borescope out, check all the pistons, everything looks healthy, so we put band-aids on everything that needed them, and we got everything ready to go to the shootout with my truck. And TJ decided the C10 needed an extra little kick in the ass, so
What better time to try nitrous right off the bat than this thing? So
We did all that like the night before. We were in the shop until 2:30 in the morning.
Is that the one you got a hold of over here? Pull it up just a little bit.
Getting that thing ready to go for the day. Actually, the morning that we quit was the day of the race.
Yep. We the night before that, we figured maybe my plugs were a little too hot for what we were trying to do. So Brandon had a set of plugs. We swapped all them to the right plug, and we still had to wire everything. We still had to move things around, and it was a late night, but it was like Brandon said, a spur of the moment thing, and had to be done that day. So David and I stayed up for a while, got it all lined out, and we literally tested it for the race at the race.
Yeah, we did.
That's how we got it.
Yeah.
But we were super nervous, like, see how everything was gonna go, but it ended up, we got lucky. It ran good. It hit just like it was supposed to.
I'll tell them what happened. You know, we all got there, we all unloaded, we, hey, this is Dave, everybody knows Dave, that's actually, him in person. But it came time to do chip draw at Samson, and that's always nerve-wracking because you don't know who you're going to get, but...
Normally this is Brandon's luck.
Yeah.
But very first, I was one of the last ones to draw chips, I think. I was maybe the second or third to last, and I drew a chip, and of course you grab it and you look at it and it says number 1, right lane.
Red chips were right lane, blue chips were left lane, and...
Yeah, and when he called for the number 1 chip, obviously I had one, and then none other than Daddy Dave fucking hands him his, and immediately start getting nervous. It's like, oh no.
Well, now, the kicker is, Dave entered 3 different vehicles into this one.
I was just going to say
that. And the number 1 was supposed to be the Monty, and whoever drew 1 got the Monty. And is that how that went? That's how that went.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear that, so I was unaware of any of that. I handed the chip over, and then so did he. So here I am racing the Monty. So immediately, I don't usually get too nervous. I got nervous because we hadn't tested the nitrous. And now I'm racing this thing, so I fully expect to do 1 pass, and it's going to be a doozy, like just watch Dave drive out of my lane.
Yeah.
But it's a pass nonetheless, so you get geared up and everything, and you're head in the game or whatever, and we go back and we get everything squared away and do our normal.
Before this, all right, you draw first chip, that's the Monty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next draw for Dave is the Nova, the Nitrous Nova. Another guy from our camp, Joe.
Yeah.
He draws the Nova. And then I ended up getting extremely lucky because third draw was his wife's SUV.
Yep.
I got that one.
Yep.
I told Dave right from the start, I'm counting this as our rerun. Then we go back to get our shit ready for round 1.
It couldn't have happened more perfect, too. It was really cool that everybody from our camp got all the first races with Dave right off the get. So
Yeah, it was not planned at all. It's just how it happened.
no. So yeah, that ended up being.
We were so nervous. I come up to the line without the prep. I'm the prep guy. I back these guys into their line. I pour their puddle. I do what I can when I'm not running mine. But I walked up to the line. I was ready to go, and I was like, oh, I don't have no prep. So I had to run back really quick. And one of our guys was actually thinking. He brought it halfway to me, so it all worked out. But we got you on the line, and man, it was on from there. Poured his puddle. Did a great burnout. Backed him up into his marks. We had a little bit of throttle problems. Just, it wasn't much. It was just hanging a little bit. I had to pop the hood and reset it for him before we sent him down the track. But how'd you feel? What was it like sitting there next to him?
Trying not to think about who it was next to me. But the routine was pretty much the same. We'd been to Samson before. Everything felt normal. I knew I had to do everything as spot on as I could to make this as best as it could, no matter how the outcome ended up being. But anyway, we did a good burnout. Like David said, we had that throttle issue. I got a linkage that had a spot in it. David fixed that right on the line. Got that done, shut the hood, and it was on from there. Got on the trans brake and everything after they rolled me forward and everything. And Rob did his thing, hit the light. I took off. I didn't see Dave at all until the end. And he come around me like a bullet. And I'm in the truck trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because that shouldn't have never have happened.
No.
Come to find out later, I'm psyched. I'm like, did that just happen? I had no idea what just happened, but I crossed the line as Dave did. And it was as close as I have ever had a race in my life. I have the picture and everything, and I don't think I've ever had a race that's been that close. But I got back to the trailer, and everybody's like, they're going to the tape. And I'm like, well, what happened to Dave? Immediately, because that's one of them things where you just know that shouldn't have went that way. And he had some issues, traction issues of his own, which is what we figured. But we went over and talked to Rob, and Rob's like, it's too close to call. What do you guys want to do? And Dave said, whatever. So fully knowing, I could have been like, I think I won, or, that's how that is. Like, no. As cool as Dave has been with us since the very beginning and everything, run it back was the best thing to do, like you would anybody. That's the respectful thing to do. And he gave it to me the second time.
I was gonna say, he had no data on that tracker or on that surface at all with that car.
And it was a legit issue. Like, there was what was it?
I think he got into his own water.
Yeah, there was something on the track anyway. But he was, and Dave's the driver, so we went back and looked, and he kept everything in his lane and everything like he was supposed to. But you could definitely tell he had issues. So the second one the rerun was pretty good. It was exactly how we expected the first one to go.
Yeah.
But that knocked me out, which was cool. I told Dave later on, thanks for giving me 2 runs, and he's like, no problem, as cool as could be. But then it was on from there. Who raced second?
Joe.
Was it Joe?
Joe, I mean, he was third pair. We had cars in front of them, but Joe was third pair. He got lined up against the Nova. Again, I helped him with his burnout and everything. Awesome burnout. I can't think of another guy that does burnouts the way that he does.
Even on his passes, it's just a perfect burnout.
Yeah, he's good. He knows how to smoke them really good. But no, I backed him up, put him in his mark, and he left a little too hot. He spun, and we went down and talked to him about it. Of course, the Nova, drove right away from him, but good race nonetheless. And then I think
that was 5th pair left lane and up against his wife's SUV, so it was basically a test pass for me. I ended up just running it on motor, just basically checking out the starting line. Everything felt good on the starting line with a motor pass. I mean, I should have ran a nitrous pass just to see how it would act, but of course I ended up winning. I mean, it's his wife's car is a 12-second or a high 11-second car.
It's pretty fast, though.
Oh, it's fast for what it is. It's cool. So obviously I went on from first round. But second round we go up for chip draw, and there's only one car in this entire list besides Dave's Monty that I don't want to draw, and it's Brandon Pierce, and of course that's exactly who I draw the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a fairly spicy tune-up in it. I have a pretty good idea what his car is going to run, but his biggest advantage is it's a bracket car. It'll hook in the rain, and it's going to go from A to B. So I put a fairly spicy tune in mine, pull up to the line, Rob does his thing. I immediately lose the tire. Like, it bites immediately off the line. Within probably 5 feet, I lose the tire, and I'm on the limiter the rest of the pass. I still make an okay pass for blowing the tires off the entire 8th, but of course Brandon Pierce leads on the back tires, and he has a little issue half track, and then as he's crossing the finish line, I see a little fireball come out of his engine bay. I'm like, ooh, that don't look good.
No, that was pretty bright.
And but he ended up getting me by a couple cars. We go back to the pits, and sure enough, he lost the engine. But we asked what they wanted to do, and obviously it's frowned upon for him to let me take his place. So I was eliminated after second round, but Dave said he was more than willing to grudge race me after the shootout was over. So
Right.
I had to bow out and wait till everything was done to get my chance at him.
Yeah, it was a really fun time. Shane got his car together, went from a manual to an automatic, and he even went rounds. He did really good with his car.
Yeah, his car looked really good.
Yeah.
He made a perfect pass the first pass.
We just we recorded some races and watched the guys do their thing for the rest of the night.
Edit that.
Tell them it was horrible. Definitely. Appreciate everybody though. You too, man. Appreciate you coming out, Markel. It's awesome. Appreciate it. Definitely. Appreciate everybody that came today.
It doesn't happen without everything. You know?
No, and for sure. I mean, I've said that from the get-go. I don't do these, these events. I'm the small piece of the puzzle. Man. Getting everybody here, that's what makes it happen. For sure. I appreciate everybody that comes out every time.
Where's Brandon?
Where's Brandon?
He's over here.
Here.
Brandon.
What's up?
So originally I had no intentions of that Monte Carlo coming back to New York. And then someone said he's got, he likes to get down on the street. So
Yeah.
I had that. It cost me $1,000 to bring it up here so we can race him.
Well, you know what? Thank you, man.
yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for supporting me too, man. You're one of the OGs. You've been here since I started this 3 years ago. So I appreciate you, man.
That's awesome.
And I appreciate you actually coming to race me.
Definitely. You're a man of your word for
But
sure.
hey, guys, you were there.
I was.
2-lane blacktop,
Yep.
barred edge, cornfield, a light pole, a house and a garage, and people down there in the garage.
Listen, the best part was
It's
we're
not the
talking about
smartest
the
thing.
ditch. He's like, I'm not worried
Hey,
about
it
the
was a
ditch.
good
I'm worried
time.
about the poles.
I ain't worried about a ditch. We go through a ditch.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Good time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
the highlight.
Fuck yeah.
Don't fucking jump.
Oh, I ain't jumping. I'm
Look, the
waiting.
highlight of my
I'll be
life.
late if anything.
The highlight of my life is he's gonna have to throw his table away at the track to forget about me.
Oh,
My name, wrote my name real big on
That's
it.
just brake clean.
It's already off. It's already
Damn
off.
it! Hey, it's all right. I got his number.
Well, you
now.
did get the steaks.
What's that?
Steaks are
Oh,
good.
dude, I got you.
I heard about the steaks.
Come pick mine up so I can go eat.
Let's go grab these 2 small tire guys. We'll do this shit draw and then we'll roll.
We're not running.
What's that? Yeah. right here. Renegade by 2 cars. Happening right here. I can see them when they come up.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
What again? I got it. It was dark as shit. It was lost. I was trying to come back. Can I have my light, please?
Yo, I need light.
That's what
What are you doing, dude?
Okay. Yeah, my hands are in my pocket.
I couldn't
Just
fucking
say
yell at him.
Pat
He's
took
got feelings too.
I couldn't see the finish line. Then I could see what the flashlight was, so I set it above the flashlight. But when you rolled up into the light, you can see everything clear.
You think you red lit? I do too.
I got 1,000 that says no.
That was awesome.
Man, thanks for having me, everybody. That's fucking
Of course,
awesome.
man. I told you when I talked to you.
That was badass.
And hey, I made a promise to you, right? That when you showed up, you'd just be treated like everybody else and nobody be
That wasn't
bugging
the
you.
promise you made.
Shoot the camera!
Well, he's been signing shit since he got here.
No, I think you only signed one thing actually for this.
And it was for you.
Oh, shit. He knew we were going to meet in the finals.
Yeah.
He knew.
I actually thought it was going to be Brandon.
I really thought it was gonna be me too.
Well, now my feelings are
Still
hurt.
down for that grudge race?
Well, one of them.
You still down for that grudge race?
Yeah. I'm just going to try something. Like the trannies is just on the, it's just RPM's up. I'm going to turn the dump off so it's got all the pressure. It should go out. It should roll. Right now, it should like goes on. It just stays on. Like it's pissed off. But I'm going to turn the dump off and see if it That's more than 100.
Stop.
That's
5, 6, 7, 1,000.
Hey, we got a casino about 20 minutes from here.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 2,000 right there.
Yep.
20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 2,000. There we go. Hey, grudge race?
You're right. This is 32.
Yep.
Let's wait. Keep 1 second.
12.
We're gonna. Daddy Dave's here, bro. Calm down. We gotta do a cool picture. I know my phone's got a hole in it. I'm supported by new pants. What do you want?
Your phone's got a hole in it?
That's it. That wasn't an asshole.
It might now. There's got to be name calls.
Is this where I get to hold it up like a phone?
You wanna do that? Oh my God! You definitely.
God, what are you doing?
You should Lyle Barnett it all day.
No, let's do it. Call me Wild Bar now.
I didn't say that. I said you should Lyle Barnett.
Turning your GoPros off.
We'll do that.
Yeah, we got to hold it up like a phone. We got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
With a second place beside me.
Oh, shit.
First loser. First loser.
Oh, hey, at least I'm the first loser. All right?
Of course.
I'll take the first loser. Okay, the choice
Get
is
them
matter,
papers out.
obviously.
Sorry, Rob.
Take a picture. Get over here. Second place.
Now he's yelling at me.
Give me some light.
Get ready for us, Dave. Oh, no.
Do you need more lights, Markel?
No, we're good. I got some real good ones.
We're good.
I do it.
Oh, yeah.
Now I did the right way.
Good job, Dave.
Perfect.
And after that, Rob promised Dave that steak or whatever, so we had to get that out of the way first before we could do our grudge race. Which that was pretty cool. Everybody got to chill and talk and hang out and, you know, share stories and everything. But then the grudge race was the next thing on the list, and of course we came up to do that.
Yep. And by now, most of the nerves are out of the way. I'm used to hanging out with Dave, and at this point, technically, we're 1-1. So, but he told me he was going to try some things and told me the number he was shooting for on that pass. So I went spicy again with mine, and I mean, the starting line was deceiving. It looked sticky. There was a lot of rubber down, but it just must have been getting greasy or something, because normally with that much rubber down, I have no problem leaving that line on the back tires every pass. And I wasn't even leaving on that much. I was just ramping it in quick for this pass. And I pulled up against him. Rob bangs the light, and I immediately lose the tire again. And I stay on the rev limiter the entire pass. And I hit the limiter in first. Of course, I'm still moving out, so I just grab second. Normally, that's enough to let it hook up and roll out. I can just power through it, and it just stays right on the limiter. I grab third. It's still on the limiter. And like, it almost felt like my transmission was slipping until I felt the ass end of the truck wiggle just a little bit. And I pedaled it, I stuck it again, and that was enough to finally let it hook up and roll out. And I mean, again, it was still a decent quick pass for blowing the tires smooth off, but he still got me by about 2/10, and it is what it is. But anytime he's in town, you know I'm coming back after him.
Yeah.
I know my truck has more in it, I know his car has more in it.
And we're not done over here either, so we got more to come with that. Obviously, the winter's coming here in New York, and we're about ready to put everything in the shop and freshen it up and make changes. So you guys will be seeing that. Anything else?
No, just the real work begins now. So we're going to put everything in like he said and get to work.
As far as we know, there's one more cool thing happening this year that you should keep your eye out for. And then after that, everything's getting stripped down, freshened up, and we're gonna be try to be back at it for dig or die. And after that, your guess is as good as ours, whether I might switch to turbo or he might put 17 kits on his, or we'll have to see what happens after dig or die's out of the way.
Yeah, we can't say any details at this point, but just keep an eye on Rob's page, Samson No Prep, our page, obviously. We'll give you guys what we can, detail-wise, obviously, but just be on the lookout for that. So,
yep. Check out Street Heathens, Samson, Daddy Dave Racing.
And we got to thank everybody involved, all our guys that helped us out, Shane, Joe, James.
Yeah, the entire Street Heathens crew.
Rich,
of course, all of the guys in Bath. I mean, without them, Dave would have no clue who the hell we are.
Right.
And obviously, Rob and everybody that helps out at Samson. And
yeah, I can't be everywhere at once when I'm helping these guys, so I got a couple other people that help us record and get some footage for you guys. So thank you to them. You guys know who you are. We wouldn't have what we have on camera if it wasn't for you. But yeah, we had a lot going on that required more than what we can just handle ourselves. So thank you to everybody that helped us with that.
Yeah, thank you.
So, all right, guys, stay tuned. There'll be more to come, and I don't know. Maybe we'll make it faster. Maybe we'll do something different. This thing, of course, will be.
never fast enough.
That's right. See you guys
Later.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you tried to run Daddy Dave on the street for a while, right?
Couple of years now.
So,
it could never happen because he'd always have to leave town early for filming, or he didn't have his car in town. But every time he was in town, I was on his ass about it.
that's awesome. And then last Tuesday, Brandon was able to get him out to the street. They did a little cash days. I was lucky enough to be able to flag it and be there and involved. Dave and I have talked for a little bit, obviously, a couple weeks now. And thanks to Brandon and Daddy Dave, we were able to get those guys to Sampson this weekend. And, you know, or today at least, on Tuesday. And we had time of our life, man. It was a blast.
Absolutely.
We did a 16-car street car shootout. And, yeah, everybody was competitive. 100%. Every car in the property was competitive. No one got bus length. I feel like it was a really close race all afternoon.
Awesome race. And who'd have known it would have started just from a friendly little grudge race in a small town in New York.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely. And I thank Brandon a lot. Thank all you guys, David, TJ. Thank you guys for being a part of it. I really thank everyone that came out today. You know, everyone that got invited to this, it was invite only. Everyone that got invited is someone that supported Sampson from the start. That's really important. I want to make that known, okay? I appreciate everybody. Without everyone's support, this wouldn't be what it is. So really appreciate everybody's support, your support, Brandon, or TJ and Dave's. Really appreciate everyone's support making this happen. And of course, really thank Daddy Dave, man. I appreciate him coming out, and you know, it was a great time. He's an amazing guy, really humble person. Honestly, he's like everybody else. You know, he's just like everybody else.
Just wants to have fun and run some cars.
Exactly, and I feel like he did. He definitely was bragging on it today. He had a blast. So that's what it's about.
It couldn't have gone any better.
Not at all. So everybody stay tuned. Sampson No Prep, Street Heathens. We got some big shit coming. You guys make sure you stay tuned and go follow Street Heathens and Sampson No Prep on YouTube for more.